All right, so welcome to another Tuesday, another Tech Talk. Glad to have Kathleen here today. She gets a customized training, but hopefully some people will catch the recording back on YouTube later on. So today we're going to talk about Google Sheets. So Kathleen, do you have any experience with Sheets? Have you used it? Have you used like Excel or anything before?
I have not. So brand
Okay.
new student. Here you go.
So spreadsheets are really good at two things, helping you organize information and then doing math. And so a lot of companies, corporations, you know, spreadsheets they're doing all kinds of technical, complicated, equations and statistical analysis and things like that. It does real basic math as well. And then along with some formatting tricks and things like that, the more you get into it. I actually was a golf coach when I taught out in Escalante. And over a year, 2 or 3, I got tired of just kids throwing us our scorecards and us like, with a calculator, kind of scratching everything together. So I built a spreadsheet and I based, I even got it like to where I based on the course so that as we added in the kids' scores in the spreadsheet, it showed if they were over par, at par, under par with different colors. And then at the score at the end, if they were over par, our kids were never under par, but that's neither here nor there. But then it also scored up the team and then automatically ranked the team results, and you could do all kinds of fun stuff. So at the end, I mean, it was this amazing spreadsheet, and then I just handed it over to the other coaches and said, I think they still use it. I mean, that was 15 years ago. So, but let's jump in. So let me share my screen. And I'm just going to share a specific window, make sure I got the right one. Oh, I'm going to show this other window first. So let me share that one first, and then I'll let Julie in. Let's see, admit. All right, so there's Julie. So you should be seeing, let's see, let me get to the right screen. So you're seeing a giant grid. Is that what you guys are seeing? Okay, I apologize if it's a little small, but I've actually been working in this spreadsheet today with another guy, with the trainer from Q's, and we're actually putting together the session grid for the Rural Schools Conference. And so we're organizing. We've got the room numbers over here on the far right or far left, and the room capacity, and then we've got these different colors. These red ones are 2-hour sessions. We've got some over-the-shoulder sessions, which are the shorter 20-minute ones that we put 2 back to back. We have some sessions from our vendors. These blue ones are leadership sessions, intended for school leaders. And so this is the kind of the middle step between getting all the submission from the form. And that's another nice thing about Google spreadsheets, is that they have a Google form that will actually, you could build, the questions you want to ask, and that'll feed into a spreadsheet that will help you organize all the information. So when those sessions came in, that's here under these form responses. And so you can see I've got the day that was submitted, the title of the presentation, this track it belongs to, the session description, and then who's going to present it, when their, preferences are, and so we take all of this information, which you see is a giant amount of, there's 130 some odd submissions, 125. Yeah, getting close to 130. And then that turns into a spreadsheet like this for, to organize all the sessions. And then I also have another, I built a pivot table, and we might get into pivot tables today, that talks about, and I probably shouldn't be putting up these people's contact information, but shows who's doing it. So I get the speaker information that'll upload into Sketch. So that's one use, a great use of sheets and slides, or sheets and forms. And I'm going to stop this screen share, and I'm going to switch to another one that's a little bit more simple. Let's see if I get it in the right spot here. I think it's that one. Share. Maybe not. We'll try it. Let's see if that's the right one. I've got too many tabs and windows. So is this the one you're seeing? Let's see. So you're seeing this spreadsheet here that says April elementary administrator. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one of my favorite tricks. I'm going to open up in Chrome a new tab, and I'm just going to type in sheets.new. And that's a nice trick that works with all Google documents. If you want to start a new doc, you can type in docs.new or sheets.new or slides.new, and it'll just quickly and instantly create a new sheet or doc or slideshow for you. And so this is the basic worksheet. And again, it's a big grid. And so you can use it to create, let's say like I wanted to make a shopping list. So I can come here and say, insert some check boxes. So I can check things on and off. And then I can put in, I need some milk and I need bread and I need cereal. Okay, so forth. And then just if I want to add those check boxes down, I could keep going, insert checkbox. But with sheets, I always say you need to work smarter, not harder. And this little dark, do you see the square of the bottom right of the cell looks a little bit bigger? That's the fill function. And so I can take that, and if I drag over the top of it, the cursor changes to a crosshair. And then as far down as I drag that, it'll fill in whatever was there. And so it kind of saves me some time. And I don't want to fill that in with milk, bread, cereal, stuff like that. But you can build a little, simple checklist for things. What it's really good at is counting or sequential kind of things. So if I wanted to build like a multiplication table, so I can put in 1, 2, 3, and then I can put in 2, 4, 6. And then what's the next one, Kathleen? 3, 6, 9. But here's what you can do. If I establish a pattern, 1, 2, 3, and then do the fill down, look what happens. Let's see, let me go down to 29, whatever. So it'll count all the way down for me. If I establish that pattern of 2, 4, 6 and go on down, it'll count it up to like that. 3, 6, 9. Whoops, that little menu's getting in my way. Escape. 3, 6, 9. Carry that on down. But then watch this. If I do this and I fill it across, I can build a quick multiplication table up to my 29 times tables if I need to. Let's see, participants. Let's let in Liesel. So establish a pattern and then use that fill function. I can also do that with days of the week. Mon, tu, wed. Select them all, drag on down. It'll fill in the days of the week for me. Or January, February. And I think I only need 2 for those. Fill that on down. March, April, May, June, July. So you can build in, make a quick calendar. What are some other things? That's probably, but I mean, just things that have or sequential or have patterns and you want to kind of organize them. And then you can, once you have things in there, if you want to just drag them, drop them around, like I need to do the October things first, or we've got to think about February, maybe that example doesn't make sense, but once you have information on a sheet, you can drag and drop them around. So like back on the session grid, I put myself into a couple different sessions and I want to keep myself in the same room. So I could, go to one session and say, cut it. And I want to paste it down here, but then take my other session and I can just drag it to where I want it to go. And so you can just kind of move that stuff around. That's why spreadsheets are a really nice tool for that kind of organization kind of a thing. Questions so far? Doing good? Thumbs up. Okay. And if you have questions or need me to slow down or whatever, just let me know. So those are some basic things that a spreadsheet can do. One thing I always like to suggest is that not from here, but from your drive, or if you go to, your Sheets homepage or whatever, see if my drive will actually load. There we go. New, and if I go to my new, And I've got docs and sheets and slides and forms. This little triangle here is hinting at me that there are some templates that are out there that I can use to even, again, work smarter, not harder. So this will take me to the Google Sheets template gallery. Your district can create like district specific templates, but some things that are already created for you that just add in your own stuff. Attendance, grade books, assignment trackers. Forever, I tracked my grades in a spreadsheet before we ever got, Aspire or Power School or stuff like that. Because it'll do all the point totals for the kids. It'll do, and maybe I ought to show that on my sample one here. So let's just pretend. Let me see this. Another cool trick. See this cell that doesn't look like there's anything there. That's a select all. That'll select every cell in the entire sheet. And then I can just go edit and delete values, just clear it out real quick. But let's say we've got students that are named the months of the year. So January, just for the sake of speed. So I've got some kids in my class, name that. And then I've got assignment number 1, 2, 3 across the top. And then I can fill that out to like 10 assignments. There we go. And then let's say we've got some scores here. So this is, let's see, move these down a little bit. Here we go. And then I'll say point total. And this will be assignment number. Number, where's my pound sign? There it is. Need my glasses on. Another fun trick. In Excel, you can set like a freeze row, but it's a lot easier in Google Slides. Just drag that line down and then those headers will always stay there and I can scroll wherever I want to see those. And so I can do that again for the vertical one. So I can scroll left and right. There we go. So points total, let's say this is a 9-point assignment just because I'm lazy and want to put something in fast. So not 89, let's see, 999,888. Throw a 2 in there, 7,799. Okay, so we got some scores there. And so now let's say I want to know, what would I like to know as a teacher for this assignment? What are some things that I'd want to know about that? Would I want to know the total of that? Probably not, but an average might be nice, right? So assignment average score. And so what I can do is instead of just putting in numbers or names or text or whatever, a spreadsheet can do math for me. It can do averages and sums and max and mins and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So I can say, but if I want to have a sheet do math for me, I start with equals. So I say it equals, and then as I start typing in, it says, oh, do you want average or, and there's all kinds of formulas and things like that. I just want a simple average. And then it says, okay, what do you want the average of? And I can just come here and highlight. I want to say, give me the average of all those, close the parenthesis, and then hit enter. And so it returns back 7.6. Let me make the text a little bigger for you. Maybe a little, make it, is that easier to see? Okay, that probably helps. All right, so average is nice. What if I want to know the max and min score? Like we want to know the high score? And if I have 10 students, that's not that hard to see, but I can also insert the little sigma symbol over here, functions, and these are some averages, or some frequently used ones. So I want to know the max. So I'm going to say max of, and then it's already got the parentheses for me. Again, I just choose that range. And all it is it's saying I'm in column B and I want cells 3 through 13, 3 through 13. So I can type that in if I want, or I just click and drag. And so the maximum score was 9 points. That's good. That's the high score. What's the minimum? Again, quickly, whoops, right there. Minimum, highlight the score, make sure I don't grab the average. And so the lowest score was 2. Now, some other things I could do. There's conditional formatting. So like if I wanted, everything that was like how Mastery Connect works, if you've seen that, if they're at, at mastery or approaching mastery or below, you can color code those so that I've got, green and, green and red or yellow, or just, if it's below, I make it red. If it's above, I make it green. I can show that real quick. Let's just do that for fun. This is being recorded, right? So if I go fast, you can just go back and watch it later on. So that's under format. It's called conditional formatting. And so now for these cells, I can make some rules here. So if let's see, add another rule. Let's see, if the cell is not empty, let's see, if it is greater than what, like 7? Should we say 8? Let's say 8. 8 would be a good score. There we go. Then I'll make it green. And then I'm going to add another rule. And I'll say now if it's, did it add another rule? If it's less than or equal to, let's say I want to know all the scores below like a 5. And I want to make that jump out at me a little orange. I like orange. There we go. So we do have those multiple rules. So the above scores and the below scores, done. There we go. And so quickly, I just added in some rules that will quickly, point out the good scores and the bad scores for me. Okay. Now the fun thing is that as I score across, I don't have to do that manually every time. I could just, take all of this stuff that I've made and then fill it across. So I go over here. It'll copy the scores this first time, but that's okay. Because what I can do now is I can go back in and select all those other scores and then go to edit and say delete values. And so now the colors go away. I get a little error because I can't take an average of something that's divided by 0, but as soon as I have some scores in there, so let's say this again is at a 9. And so now let's do a 7 and a 4 and a 5 and an 8 and a 3 and a 2 and a 1 and a 9 and a 9 and a 6 and an 8. And so you can see that all those values update instantly as I put scores in. The conditional formatting follows along. And this is a pretty good grade book, right? And how long did it take me to build it? About 5 minutes, if that. Just some cool things that you can do with a little bit of know-how and a little bit of time. Looking at these other functions, arrays, a lot of these I have no idea, especially these like financial ones. I have no idea what these mean. But if I just hover over it, it'll say number of days from first coupon to settlement. Awesome. So there's lots of things that, a spreadsheet can do that I'll never use, but it's a pretty powerful tool for me. Questions so far? How are we doing, guys? Good? Okay. Got about 10 minutes left. There's a couple other things I want to show you. When I do, and I'll put a link to this in the chat. There is an advanced session that I do at some conferences. I haven't done it in a while, but it's a lot of fun. It's advanced Google Forms, slice and dice data like a ninja. But one of the things I want to show you is a pivot table. And if you've never seen a spreadsheet before, you probably have no idea what a pivot table is or how it works. And I tried to teach myself how to do pivot tables in Excel. And what it is you can take data and kind of move it around in rows and columns and kind of see relationships and summaries in different ways. But I never really got how to use a pivot table or what to do with it until I saw how easy it is to do it in Google Sheets. But what it is, it allows me to take a large amount of information. So you can see I've got 111 entries on this form. But if I have specific questions about all the information in there, I've got the questions here. Let me show you the form that it comes from. Some basic questions. So first name, last name, gender, month you're born, grade level you teach, your role in education, how much fun are you having, t-shirt sizes, how would you rate your session so far? And so if I wanted to ask some questions about that information, I can do that with a pivot table. And so I'm going to select all of my data, and under data, I'm going to choose pivot table. And please don't get lost on me. It'll make sense once you start to see how it works. So what I can do is I'm going to add in on the rows. I want to see, let's say a question is, how many males and females are in the different levels of education, right? So I want to know if there's more females in secondary or elementary, or males or whatever. So I'll choose gender, and I've got male, female, and prefer not to say as the options, right? But there's no information, there's nothing that goes along with it yet, because I haven't really given it. But what it does is it takes out like any of the duplicates, right? So it doesn't list all of the females and all the males. I can like look for totals. So I could say values, add in the gender. So show me the numbers. So there's been 79 females and 28 males, and 3 that prefer not to say fill out the form. Okay, that's fine. So now let me add in, let's see, my role in education. And I don't really want to show totals on that one. Oh, maybe I do. So now I can see that, and it's kind of broken it down. You can see that they're in rows. So accounting administrator, a Jedi trainer, oh, that's cool. I prefer not to say Jedi trainer, but maybe that doesn't make much sense. So what if I put that in the column? So I can pivot that information, drag it down under columns, and now I can see, that's kind of hard to read. So what if I do this? And I take gender and I put it down into columns, and then put role in education on the rows. And now that's something I can read, right? So I can see the most heavily, let's see, we've got, it's grand total. So let's see, 34 teachers, 35 secretaries. So 35 female secretaries are the largest group that has filled out this form. I did this at a secretary's conference too. So that's how we get all this extra stuff in there. Teachers, I've got 13 male teachers, 34 female teachers. And let's see, they didn't really say, this is just like their job, right? So what if I want to, not really what their job was, but what level of teaching? So in the rows, let's see, what grade level do you mostly work with? Let's look at that. So I've got, and these zeros bug me. So there are filters, which are kind of nice. So give me a filter on gender, and I don't want to see the blanks. Okay, there we go. And actually I want to add another filter on grade level, and I don't want to see the blanks either. Okay, there we go. That's a nice clean pivot table there. So 77 female, elementary, that's the biggest number there. Okay, 12 elementary male teachers, 25 high school female teachers. But again, these totals all total up to 107 who filled out the form. Cool, so far, useful. Okay, let's make maybe another pivot table. I'll delete that one. I can just delete the sheet. Yeah, I'm sure. But what if we're doing this for, I want to give out, let's say I want to give out a t-shirt to everyone who's having an awesome time at the conference. All right, so they come in here, I can say select everything, and then go to data, give me a pivot table. And now I'm going to add in, I'm going to say, let's see, how much fun you're having at the conference, and show totals. I'm going to put values on that. How much fun? There we go. 60 people are having the perfect amount of fun, but these people, 35, they're having way too much fun. So I want to make a filter for that. And how much fun, and I only want to see them, right? Because I don't want to know about the other one. I want to know these people are just having an awesome time. So we got 35 people are having way too much fun, and that'll be in rows. So now in columns, I'm going to add in free t-shirts. So there we go. So if I wanted to make a t-shirt order and award it to the people who are having the most fun at the conference, I need 12 larges. The only thing is that it puts it in alphabetical order. I can't change the order. That's like the one thing I don't like about pivot tables in Excel. So 12 larges, 12 mediums, 3 small, 3 extra large, 1 extra small, 4 double XL. So 35 t-shirts in. And then, but on the form, I still know who they are, right? And if I ask for an address or whatever else, I can go back in and, if I wanted to know, okay, give me their names too. I could say, let's see. Yeah, so instead of shirt sizes, I could do that as well. I could say, let's see, how would I do that? Let's just throw it in there, see what happens. So let's put in first names. There we go. So I can see Bruce would be a large. I can see Kathy would be a small. Cynthia would be a large. And so just kind of add a little bit more, another layer to that pivot table. But again, just allows me to take all that information that's just kind of a blur to look at and ask specific questions and pull out just a little bit of information I need. So 3 minutes left. Let me throw in the roll and for you. So I'm going to copy that link and find it in the chat so that you guys can get that. And I'll throw in the YouTube playlist as well if you want to go back and look for any other videos. And I'm going to stop my screen share and let you guys ask any questions if you have any. I know that was fast. I don't expect you to be a sheet and pivot table expert, but I just wanted to kind of show you what they could do and, not be afraid of them. Just, it's a really good tool for organizing things, doing some math, and whatever level of math you're comfortable with. And then if you do get lots of information in a sheet, it'll allow you to pull some things out. So.
Appreciate that. At least it was a good introduction.
Yeah.
And then I can go back and watch it again later.
Wait a minute. Wait, I did have, I've got some tutorials. So if you do want to dig in a little deeper, and you can find them on YouTube for sure, but that's a nice little web page that has getting to know sheets, modifying columns, rows, cells, formatting cells, simple formulas, working with functions. So some extra things there if you want to dig a little deeper, or just ask me questions. I'm always available for specific questions. So, all right.
Thank you.
And you bet. We'll see you next week. We're going to do Utah's Online Library, or no, sorry, eMedia. And we've reached out to UEN to see if the actual person that runs eMedia will be able to join us. So, but that's our Netflix for teachers in Utah.
Wonderful.
Nice
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good week. We'll see you guys later. Julie, good? She got scared and ran away. That's okay. See you guys.